The social media mob went all real world in Dagestan yesterday evening. A crowd of hundreds stormed the airport in the capital city, Makhachkala, at around 7 p.m. A plane was arriving from Tel Aviv. Unsubstantiated rumours, amplified on Telegram channels, said that there were Jewish refugees on board fleeing the war in the Middle East. The mob was headed for that plane, now sitting on the runway. The Russian Republic of Dagestan is majority Muslim, has no recent history of extreme displays of anti-Semitism, though, at least nothing like this. The crowd first got through into the airport concourse, marauding through security. Their intent was clear from the chanting. They were looking for Jewish people. Frightened airport staff are heard saying there's no one here. The mob heads out onto the runway. Terrified passengers on a plane watch the crowd arrive. The pilot makes an announcement. There's an angry mob outside, he says, trying to figure out where we've come from. It's likely we might get hurt. Don't try to open the doors. The crowd eventually focus on this plane, believing it's the one that's arrived from Tel Aviv. A technician on the ground is asked, are the people on board Russian or Jewish? They interrogate others, asked to see passports. Eventually, security services arrive and start arresting people. Dagestan is one of the Russian republics. It's situated between the Black Sea and the Caspian, shares borders with Georgia and Azerbaijan. It's majority Muslim, but ethnically diverse, has a tiny Jewish population. Today, Vladimir Putin said the incident was orchestrated by the West and Ukraine, aimed at undermining the unity of the Russian Federation. There is another perspective, though. As with many of the poorer Russian republics, Dagestan is feeling the squeeze economically and is sending thousands of soldiers into what's becoming, for so many young men, the killing fields of Ukraine.
So all these factors, I think, are causing the Russian government to try and deflect attention from that problem to, they would rather create a divisive divide and rule situation rather than have some sort of unification amongst the different ethnic groups against Moscow. So I think we're entering quite a dangerous phase in North Caucasus, where it's not just in Dagestan, remember, there was also in Kabardino-Balkaria attacks on the Jewish center in the capital. And again, I do believe this was engineered by the FSB to try and deflect attention from a growing movement of Circassian nationalism in the North Caucasus.
Were there ulterior motives behind last night's rampage is one question. If you were Jewish, running the gauntlet of the mob as you left the airport, here's another question. What would they have done if they'd found me?